The weather was ugly, and the two offenses were even uglier heading into Saturday's matchup between Vanderbilt and Florida in the Swamp. The Commodores were fresh off a 590 shellacking at the hands of Alabama, while the Gators, despite being 20 in the SEC, were forced to start quarterback Luke Del Rio after Phillip Franks was benched in last week's win over Kentucky. But a funny thing happened Saturday. Florida found something offensively. The running game was on point against the Doors in the 38-24 win, and it took over in the second half to pull away from a Vanderbilt team that had matched the Gators' score for score until midway through the third quarter. Freshman running back Malik Davis toted the rock 17 times for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lamical Perrine added 58 yards on 15 carries for 3 of his 4 career touchdowns. It's the first time since 2003 versus Florida A&M that the Gators have racked up 5 rushing touchdowns in one game. It's something to build on, which, regardless of who plays quarterback, is more than could be said for this Florida offense heading into Saturday's action. Franks replaced Del Rio and played well, completing 10 of 14 passes for 185 yards, though he did have 2 passes nearly intercepted, including one improbably caught by sophomore wideout Reddy Swain. Del Rio injured his shoulder late in the second quarter and was ruled out for the season after the game, according to coach Jim McElwain. Think back to the Tennessee game, which was won on the Franks-Terry Cleveland Bombers time expired. That wouldn't have been needed if Davis had held on to the ball for an extra yard on a 74-yard run, and not had the ball punched out for a touchback instead of a touchdown. It would have given the Gators a 17-point lead with under 11 minutes to play against a Tennessee team with no offensive identity. Davis closed that front door, if you are into the gambling line that sat at Gators 9 at kickoff, with a 39-yard touchdown with under 2 minutes to play to score the game's final points. The Vanderbilt game backed up this identity. Florida is a running team, and it can do it effectively enough despite not having much of a threat in the passing game. McElwain said after the season-opening loss to Michigan that the offensive line wasn't what he expected. That's still true in pass protection, but in running situations, they're on point, especially former top-tier prospect Martez Ivy at left tackle. What's more, Florida made some minor strides defensively. The Gators came in giving up 5.9 yards per play, next to listing the SEC ahead of only Missouri 6.03. But they gave up 5.17 on Saturday afternoon, and held star Commodore running back Ralph Webb to just 29 rushing yards on 11 attempts. The Vanderbilt rushing attack only managed 46 yards overall, though QB Kyle Shermo passed for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns despite completing just 18 of 40 passes. No matter how ugly it has looked at times for Florida, it still sits atop the SEC East standings at 30 in conference play.